Good evening, everyone. Happy Monday. Welcome to Double O Deep Dive, the Pop Culture Pros home for everything that is James Bond 007. If you are wherever you are catching us right now, I want to thank you guys, whether you got us on Spotify, whether you're getting us live on the Facebook feed, whether you're getting us Instagram or Twitter, wherever you're getting us. If you're getting us on a Russian satellite from the 1960s that might be beaming over encoded messages, we thank you. Or as they say in Russia, do svidaniya. I am your host, Agent 006, Jason Vishenik, coming here to talk to you about James Bond and everything that is James Bond. With me, as always, 007, Ginny Harmon Lawler. How are you, my friend?
Good, great.
Are you excited to talk Tomorrow Never Dies?
I am, because this is one movie I haven't seen. I'll just say it. I've seen scenes of it, but I haven't seen it. So
Nice.
For me, I was like, had to be focused, and I have, my Pierce Brosnan knowledge from his other movies, and I have to compare it to this one now, which is great.
Awesome.
Oof.
Awesome. When was the last time you read a newspaper, Ginny?
Oh my gosh. Like when a vacation, like a hotel, probably. So
Okay.
probably I went on like a baby moon, so I probably there was like a paper with the food.
All right. Okay. Fair enough. I thought it was worth a question, because of what this movie's about tonight. And with us, as always, the best damn quartermaster this side of Q Branch, and a branch unto himself, E Branch, Eddie Camus. How are you, my friend?
Hey, what's up? How's it going? How you guys doing tonight?
Good. I'm excited to talk about this movie. I was telling Regina, my wife, that I have no idea what you guys are going to say about this movie. This is the first movie I'm coming in where I'm like, I don't know where you guys are going to fall on it.
Wow. All right. So stay on the edge of your seat then.
I'm excited. But before we get into it, this is really important, Ed. When was the last time you read a newspaper?
Probably 4 years, I think, maybe 5. I used to get it all the time. When we were in high school, I used to buy a newspaper literally every day. Every single day I used to read the newspaper. I used to read it on the Q39.
The Q39.
Yeah.
Remember, I'm having flashbacks.
Or the 67. When it showed up.
Wow. When it showed up, if it showed up.
If it showed up. It was really it was pretty much a figment of our imagination. We know that.
It's true. It was a mirage.
Yes.
But much like newspapers are today, I'm just saying, I don't remember the last time I held a newspaper in my hand even.
It feels good, though.
It does.
Newspaper.
Yeah.
It does, yeah. It's to get that print, that ink,
Smell.
Yeah. The problem is, it's yesterday's news.
Nice segue. Nice segue.
Tomorrow.
All right, so of course, we're talking Tomorrow Never Dies tonight, which is, real quick for those of you who've never seen it, and don't mind it being spoiled, is the one with the newspaper editor, right? The media mogul.
Well, he's like
that one.
He's like I don't know who he's trying to be. He looks like Steve Jobs.
I got complete Steve Jobs vibes off.
He's in a turtleneck, glasses.
Yeah. But so I was actually going to ask you this when we got into him, but now that it's here, let's just talk about it. When does Steve Jobs really come into become famous? He did his thing when he, created Apple, but when does he become the Steve Jobs that creates the iPhone? That's way after this movie, right?
Yeah, but he was always there. He was always creeping up in his black turtleneck in our in our society.
Right. He was always dressed like a Bond villain.
Yeah.
Yes.
We should have. I don't know what we were thinking.
Yeah,
because I was gonna say that I think Steve Jobs just saw this movie and went, hey, this is a great how-to manual.
But didn't watch the rest of the movie, which is this guy looks great, and he's clearly successul.
Hey, pause this movie at 103. I don't want to see any more. I've seen enough.
I've seen enough.
But all right, so before we get into the cold open, before we go through our steps, I'm gonna read you guys out the lyrics to "Tomorrow Never Dies" the song. And I figured this: we'll do it like a game show. Whoever can make the first connection, just stop me, and I will stop speaking immediately, and you just make the connection.
So you might go through the whole song if we don't say anything.
Yes, I likely will.
Okay.
All right. So let's do it. Darling, I'm killed. I'm in a puddle on the floor, waiting for you to return. Oh, what a thrill, vacillations galore. How you tease, how you leave me to burn. It's so deadly, my dear, the power of wanting you near. Until the day, until the world falls away. Until you say there are no more goodbyes, I see it in your eyes.
Is this all Terry Hatcher?
That's what I was just thinking.
All Terry Hatcher.
I was
What's her
wondering.
name? What's her name?
Paris.
Paris Carver. Yeah.
Yes.
For the first time, I'm so glad that that I didn't want to tell you guys anything because I had kind of had that thought last night when I was watching this movie, and I was like, wait a minute, did they take the subplot of the B, like a B subplot, and write the song around it?
Is the second verse about like kicking butt though? Isn't there some verses about being awesome?
Darling, you
awesome.
won. It's
Everything
no fun.
Awesome.
Martinis, girls, and guns. It's murder on our love affair, which I actually think she says. I think that's a line from the movie.
Wow.
Damn, it's all Terry Hatcher stuff.
So I love this song. I'm gonna like bear the lead. I actually like every song in the Pierce Brosnan catalog here. But yeah, this is all about Terry Hatcher, and I don't know. Again, this was written for the movie. I think we made that connection. But would you guys have, if you were writing a movie, a song for this movie, like where would you place the Terry Hatcher romance of like on the list of the top 10 things you'd focus on?
I just like it because we talked. I think I mentioned this before, that the idea that they knew each other. And I don't know if there was any Bond girl that had done that before. I also have a weird Mandela effect where I thought she was evil.
Okay.
I always thought, until I watched this movie, I was like, oh, she's good. She's just not a bad Bond girl.
No,
and
she's a dead Bond girl.
She's a dead
Bond
girl.
She's a very quickly dead Bond girl.
Yeah.
Didn't do anything. But I was like, that shocked me. But I thought she was gonna betray him somehow or do something, because Terry Hatcher gives me those vibes. But no, it's crazy. The song would be about her little character.
Yeah, I mean, would I write a song about Terry Hatcher, especially if I'm in myself in the 90s? Absolutely. Sure.
Very nice.
Now, if I'm talking about am I writing a movie for a Bond film? No, absolutely not.
I just picture like Terry Hatcher. That
would be it. That would be it. That would be it.
Yeah, I got a strange choice, but I think it works. I actually really like this song as a song. I think it's a cool Bond song. It brings up in me these feelings of like, spies doing spy stuff.
Spy heavy.
Yeah. I don't know. I like it. Ed, do I sense a dissenting opinion?
Yes.
Ooh.
I do not like the song at all. I thought it was very vanilla.
I don't like Sheryl Crow.
Yeah. I was waiting to see who, because I don't know when it pops up that she sang the song. And while I'm listening to it again, for the purpose of the show, now I know where I'm trying to listen to the song and stuff. I'm like, who the hell is saying this? And all of a sudden I see Sheryl Crow. I'm like, wow, I don't know. I thought it was, yeah, she is. She's a little weird at times, and it was I just thought it was very vanilla, and I thought the opening was kind of very vanilla too. Like, I don't know. Whatever. I enjoy a lot of things about the film, but this was the one thing. This is probably my biggest knock on the film, was the song and the opening. Yeah,
she's very 90s. Like Sheryl Crow I was listening to, I was like, I get her voice. She's got that rasp in her voice. That's very. I like that it's all females that sing Pierce Brosnan Bond songs, but I was like, she's so 90s. It's in a good way, because I love Sheryl Crow, but I was like, this song is like hitting right. I know exactly what era we're in.
Oh, I mean, I'm all about 90s music. Don't get me wrong, but like this, just I don't know what it was. It didn't. it did nothing for me whatsoever.
All right. Well, so I like a little dissenting opinion, a little blood in the water to get those sharks with freaking laser beams circling.
It's very important.
So Ed, you talked about the credits and how you kind of felt they were also vanilla. I'll share with you guys because as I said, these are fever dreams. I just kind of copied down phrases because there's no way I'm going to remember them all afterward. So I'm just going to say what I have, and then anyone fill anything in, then we can talk about it. But lights, women, guns loading, women in billiards, women dancing in bullet casings. And diamonds orbiting a neck. Which this was my favorite part of the credits, where the diamonds come off the neck and sort of orbit the woman, and then there were women dancing on the diamonds. I thought that was pretty cool. But did I miss any imagery that?
It's very techno-y, very 24-hour news.
Yeah, which I guess ties in. Yeah,
very techno, screen
right
bits and that gigabytes.
I was gonna say they have like the gigabytes, like Matrix looking, almost like people, like lines coming into, like, of course, women. And I was realizing for the first time I was watching this last night, guys. I think there might be a little misogyny in the Bond movies, just a little bit.
Think so?
I can't put my finger on why I'm thinking that, but
I don't know. Maybe one time through this journey, we'll figure it out. We'll start making notes.
maybe. But so Ginny, so Ed wasn't crazy about this, like he said. What about you? What did you think of the opening credits?
No. I didn't go crazy for a lot of this movie. There's a lot of things that weren't speaking to me, but maybe it should have been, because I like it. I like the. But maybe if our Daniel Craig was cheesier, a 24-hour news media mogul would have been maybe, I don't know, hit closer to home. We would have had more to work with, more surveillance. I don't know, more maybe the threat of being surveilled in the 90s was worse than today. So, but I was like, I get the opening. That was the thing that stuck out to me, that I was like, of course, he's a media mogul, and I've never seen this movie, so I was like, this is okay.
And I think this movie comes out 99 or 97. So this is like really before the internet explodes, right? It's just on the cusp. It's before the 24-hour media cycle, right? It's actually, I think, looking back on this movie, I kind of think it predicts a lot of stuff.
It does. Yeah, there's a lot of lines that are pretty great. Yeah.
Which, doesn't necessarily mean it translates into a good Bond movie. We'll talk about it. But I was watching it going like, with the exception of the fact that no one knows what the fuck a newspaper is anymore. But any of our listeners listening who are really young, a newspaper, imagine it's like when you go to a Google page, except you're holding it in your hand and it's making your hand black with ink. That's a newspaper. But yeah, outside of like the newspaper thing, I was like, wow, this movie's kind of prophetic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's get into it. So I actually thought the credits were fine. They're not great. So I think we're all in the same camp. They're there. They're fine. But I do enjoy this cold opening, right? The cold open where it opens, and this is the clearest we've gotten for a reason that something is happening ever in a Bond movie. A terrorist arms bazaar on the Russian border.
Yeah.
Yes, and I laughed when I read that.
Me too. But I laughed like yes.
Yeah.
I wasn't laughing at it. I was laughing with it.
Yeah.
I said, LOL, terrorists.
Yeah, terrorists.
So many terrorists.
How do we
label them terrorists right off the bat? Like, we're not screwing around. Yeah.
We have terrorists at a bazaar on, wait for it, the Russian border. This is a triple threat, my friends. But I actually think this is like such a cool cold open where you've got, like, you don't even see Bond for a while. Right. You got M and this admiral, and the admiral's like, screw these guys. We're just gonna bomb the hell out of them. And no one thinks to check if there's maybe nuclear warheads at this arms bazaar.
By the way, M has a great line about them right before that when they're deciding to launch. When I think it was the admiral says that she doesn't have the balls for this job. Which is like, well, maybe I don't, but I also don't have to think with them either. I was like,
Yeah.
boom.
Yeah.
we talk about how I was like, well, like, Bond, you're very misogynistic and chauvinist, and I go, a lot of the men in this situation were being a little bit like, oh, don't worry about it, we got out of the way. And I'm like, these guys are like the Bond. I don't know.
Bond at least respects her.
Bond respects you. Bond's doing his work. He listens.
There's a lot more respect in this movie. You can see the progression of his relationship with this M, because, whatever. We'll get to that when she sends him on his mission, but she definitely is like straight out, very direct with him. Put it that way.
What was the other line? Was that in the scene about the America screwing up, America not noticing our?
What do you think the CIA is gonna be angry at most? The fact that they lost the encoder, or that we found it?
That wasn't the scene, if I remember right.
Yeah, that's also a really good line. But yeah, so then they fire the missiles from a submarine or whatever, a frigate or whatever that's near, and Bond won't leave because he has noticed that there's the nuclear missiles, and they are, of course, attached to a jet, and so he bonds. He does what Bond does best. I thought this fight scene where he is fighting his way to this jet was so goddamn smooth and suave, like, because he's got he's always wearing the freaking suit, and he's like going like he's always like nicely dressed. He's going under like the plane, and he's punching a guy in the face, and like he's sweeping guy. Like I'm watching it going, I'm out of breath just watching him do this.
One of my favorite things he does is, and I think it's his first line of this movie, is when he goes to light the guy's cigarette, and then punches him. It was like filthy habit, which he does twice. He shuts down two people smoking in this movie. They're about to light up, and he's anti-smoking Bond.
Anti-smoking.
Yes, he is.
With all the smoking that Sean Connery and everything did, he's like, "No, screw it. I've learned that. I've kicked my habit. Since we can say they're the same person." And then,
I just drink twice as much now.
Exactly.
Yeah,
up the sex, up the drinking.
Oh yeah,
exactly. Yeah, for sure, sure.
Look, he's not getting better. He's just saying, "I'm going to stop killing myself in this way, and I'm going to put more focus on these two ways."
The therapist is like, Bond, no, wait, that's not what I. Oh.
All right. But yeah, and then so he gets in the plane and he takes off. And he saves the missiles. And I actually this reminded me of a Simpsons gag, and I had no one to make this joke to, but so he's in this the fighter pilot, he's in this other fighter jet, and the guy, there's an enemy behind him, and he starts strangling him, and they're fighting, and he hits the eject button, and he shoots the guy up, and the guy like crashes into a plane that's right above them, and they explode. And it reminded me of a Simpsons bit when you see McBain, the Simpsons action hero, and he like breaks someone's neck. He jumps in a plane and breaks someone's neck, and Marge goes, "Wow, he's really moving at breakneck speed." And Bart just goes, "Mom, someone died here." And I don't know why, but that's all I can think of in this scene.
Oh man.
But yeah, so like that's the cold open, and bang, we're into the Bond movie. So Ed, anything else you guys want to throw out about the cold open? Anything I might have missed because I kind of jumped around?
I just thought it was really exciting. I thought it was a really excellent cold open. And like you said, it made a lot of sense. It explained things properly, why things were happening. You get Bond kicking ass and ejecting a guy to take out another plane and everything. He's stopping people from smoking. I mean, you get great lines from M, like digging at people. So why not? I loved every second of it.
I think it's fun. It's because, again, I don't know if GoldenEye was fun per se. I don't watch GoldenEye for fun. I think I watch it as a prestige movie. and I'm watching this going, oh, this is funny. So many double entendres. He punches a guy. Filthy habit, cigarette, clear, joke. I get it. So fun. So much fun.
Yeah. So yeah, awesome. So loving the cold open so far. That leads us into the first set piece, which is we have the British submarine, right? Or I don't know if it's a submarine, but it's a British ship. And we have seen that the first henchman, the guy who steals the encoder in the terrorist arms bazaar on the border of Russia, played by Ricky Jay, who I don't know if anyone knows him, but he's like a famous musician. Magician rather. I'm sorry, and I only know him because he's got like the most distinct voice. Like he was in this movie. He narrated this movie called Magnolia. And I love that movie. And so he's got such a distinct voice. So I saw this movie and I'm like, oh shit, Ricky Jay's our first henchman in this. And he plays Gupta, who is, wait for it, guys, we're still in the 90s. He's a hacker.
Can't let that go.
Yeah.
We don't
Many
understand
hackers.
Technology. It's scary.
It's
Yes.
very scary. People are clacking on their no one's clacking on their keyboards. It's not as offensive as last week, but he's got this encoder, which pretty much he's able to hack and give the wrong coordinates to the British ship, and he brings them into Chinese territory, and then he shoots like this really awesome drill torpedo into the ship. They fire at some Chinese MiGs flying over in retaliation because they think it's a Chinese attack. And this pretty much sets up the villain's plot, which is very simple, actually. I think it's one of the most simple plots we've ever gotten in a Bond movie. He wants to start like World War III so he can cover it on his news network and get all the best ratings.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what do you guys think of this opening? What do you guys think of, like, this is our introduction, like the destruction of the ship, and then of course the ship ends, that whole scene ends with them getting gunned down, like, in cold blood.
Yeah.
So I don't know, Bond-like or not Bond-like, too much, not enough? What do you guys think?
Go ahead, Jay.
Him telling the guy's getting gunned down, and what does he say? He's like, make sure I have the exact number right so I can broadcast it, essentially, or
Right.
like have the headline right. That's kind of sinister. It gets less sinister to me towards the end of the movie when he's just being like, I'm going to broadcast your obituaries. Mwahaha. But I think that bit of a dialogue, I was like, oh, interesting. Or like, okay, I haven't seen this movie before. So I'm like, where is he? That's okay. That's threatening. That's threatening to me. So pretty sinister. I like that. I dig it.
Cool.
Yeah, I think it was very sinister. I mean, yeah, you're pretty much just saying, gun these people down who are coming to you for help because they just survived the submarine attack, and you can tell on their faces they're like,
right.
"Oh, we're saved." And then this guy who looks like he could have been in Die Hard or whatever it is, he was just like, like 90s henchman,
Herr Stamper.
Yeah, Stamper is just gonna wipe them out and gun them all down. I thought it was pretty messed up, man.
Yeah, messed up.
Yeah, I think a lot of the beginning of this movie is like cold blooded. Like, and I agree. Like and what I like about this movie as well, because I do like this movie. I like a lot of this movie. I think it's perfect. But I like that they don't even try to pretend Carver's not the villain. Some Bond movies do that.
Right.
Like even GoldenEye, right? Like Alex Trevelyan, what a twist, right? Or when we get to like Goldfinger, like we all know Goldfinger's the villain because it's called Goldfinger and we've all seen the movie. But like the first 20 minutes of that is just this old fat man playing cards. Like he's cheating at cards. He's you're kind of not sure what's going on. But I like that they don't even bury the lead. It's like the first time you see this guy, Carver, is Elliot Carver, aka Steve Jobs, is literally like, yeah, I'm writing the headline now. How many have survived? All right, you know what to do. And you're right, it's chilling. It's very chilling.
It is, especially from the High Sparrow from Game of Thrones, because that's who he would play eventually.
Wait, Jonathan Pryce is in Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Yes, he's a pretty important character too.
You see, this is why
a psychotic character.
This goes to show you how so many of my friends don't know me, because I have had so many people try to get me to watch Game of Thrones. And you've just done it, Ed. I'm going to watch it now because Jonathan Pryce is there.
Takes a while.
I love Jonathan Pryce.
It's true. Listen, it takes a while to get there. So I
don't want you to
don't watch the first 4 seasons and then curse me out. No.
Fair enough. Look, I'm patient, all right? Like I'm watching. I started Doctor Who from the beginning. I'm a patient man, all right, when it comes to the media. But I love Jonathan Pryce. I love him in this movie. I love him in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Mm-hmm. Even when they are bad, he is good. And I love him in Brazil, which is what I know him from. But anyway, enough of my Jonathan Pryce love.
Man.
But so since we're talking about Elliot Carver and we've kind of just talked about the plan, and this is really, again, the simplest villain and plan. What do we think of Elliot Carver as the villain as a whole?
I think Jeannie's got something to say right now, so I'm gonna let her go first.
I like Jonathan Pryce. I don't know if I like him in this movie, and I always feel like I have again Mandela effect, where I thought Terry Hatcher was a bad Bond girl, even though I'd never seen this movie, and I always thought that there was another villain in this movie that wasn't Jonathan Pryce, because I always feel like Jonathan Pryce is like a, I don't know, a setup to be a villain, or there's someone, a bigger bad behind him. And I don't know why I have that vision. And there isn't. He has like 2 henchmen or what have you. This is Dolph Lundgren as his main big bad. And then I just thought that there was someone else. I don't know, pulling strings. I thought it'd be more dramatic. But you're right. It's very straightforward.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I actually remember when I first saw this movie in the theater, and I was a Jonathan Pryce fan then as well. So I went in really excited about him. I remember being disappointed in what we got from him. I think I appreciated it more last night when I watched it, but I think they could have done more with him, to be honest.
Yeah. I like the idea of a 24-hour. I think Tom, my husband, kind of like sniffed his nose at it, being like, he's just a news media mogul. But I was like, I think that's so, like, with Succession. I love that show right now, which is like, all fake Fox News kind of like dynasty thing. I think that's just like super fascinating. I think that's not unlike any of our news, which is like 24-hour. And what's the one line about bad headlines being, what was that line? It's great. It's obvious. I think it's true.
Yeah.
Oh man, where is it? The bad headlines are like the only headlines that sell. And I go, I don't think it's not changing. Like, it's bad news is the only news there is. And it's like, there is no good news. There's no happy news. It's always sad, dramatic, anxiety inducing. And so that, I love that. I just think it's a little lackluster about it. And maybe we weren't there yet in the 90s, that early 90s, but that idea was pretty great. And he's just a little bland. He's bland to me. And I'm sure the way people feel about Quantum of Solace villain Green, I think I kind of feel about this way. Like this guy, they say Terry Hatcher has a line about how I think he's like a monster. I think like to women too, like where he's like, he's not going to push you too hard, but insinuating that he's like, he would assault you if he could, or if he has assaulted people. But that's just a throwaway line. And I'm like, so he's not a whole spooky threat, not a horrible monster threat to me in my mind, but I think we want him to be, or he is, but that's not clear.
That makes sense. Yeah. He's not menacing enough.
Yeah. Or I need to see it from him. I need to see a burst of a full anger. He's very calm. He's very cool, but it's not chilling cool to me.
Right. Ed, what about you? What do you think of Carver?
I like Jonathan Pryce too. Besides his role in Game of Thrones, and he was also, by the way, in the first 2 G.I. Joe movies that we covered on Grannies.
Oh, that's right. Yes, that's right.
He
was.
President,
yeah.
And then technically he's Zartan.
Which I think I praised his Zartan.
You did, because he plays it off like pretty well. So yeah, I like him as an actor, but as the bottom line, I kind of gotta agree with Jimmy on a lot of this. Is like a lot of things are said about him that he is really evil, and I'm like that. His plan is pretty diabolical. Like, I'm gonna murder people and start a war just so I can profit off of it. I mean, that's it's pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's not like his intentions are not bad.
That's like American politician bad.
Yeah, sure.
if only. Yeah, so it's bad, but the thing is, I think, Jay, it's just that we don't see a lot of it. It just gets alluded to from time to time, and the things he does throughout the film. Again, I'm not trying to sugarcoat what he does, because he does do some bad stuff. I think they could have gotten more. There could have been more there. They just don't shoot, and it's just random lines of how bad he is, and he could have been so much worse. He could have probably been the most diabolical villain in the Pierce Brosnan run if they would have just shown a little bit more of it, I think. I guess that's what it is.
He's a bit stock. There's almost like a cardboard cutout-ness to him, where I don't know his full background. I don't know how he rose to power. Know more about Blomfeld, and I don't know a few other people I feel like. But he's just like the height of his power, media mogul, Steve Jobs. That's his diabolical plan.
Yeah, and his weird thing with like in the movie, there's that one scene where we see his building I believe it's in Shanghai, and he has this whole poster, and it's like it's just his face with the news. I mean, no wonder why no one's watching your shit, man. Like, are you supposed to draw me in? Come on, man. That's terrible marketing on his part.
Well, maybe that's it. Maybe he's really actually a bad newsman, which is why he needs to rig a world war to get ratings.
Yeah, maybe he's like the worst newsman. That's why it's like, I'm gonna have to make it myself.
I thought of this movie as I was watching it yesterday. This is Citizen Kane if Citizen Kane were a Bond movie.
Oh my gosh, Citizen Kane would be a Bond. Like, that should be.
Look, Citizen Kane would Charles Foster Kane is an absolute Bond villain because he's based on, Hearst, the newspaper man who was a real life Bond villain. But he quotes Hearst like twice in this movie.
Yeah, he does.
And he quotes the very famous, and this is also in Citizen Kane, you provide the pictures, I'll provide the war, about the Spanish-American War.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I kind of appreciate more where they were trying to go with this character, but I agree with everything you guys said. He's lackluster. He needs to be more over the top. Like his for this run of Bond. Like I think maybe if they did something like this with Daniel Craig, we'd be a bit more forgiving.
Mm.
But we're like knee deep in over the top Pierce Brosnan Bond, and I think for what they're trying to do, I think they needed him to be a bit crazier.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So, anything more about the villain before we move on? I figure we'll talk about the three. We'll get all the bad guys out of the way first. Talk about the three henchmen afterward. Anything else about Steve Jobs?
No.
I
think that's all I got on there. Actually, wait, hold on. No, can we jump? Are we okay to jump?
Oh, we're all over the place.
I have a feeling Jenny knows exactly where I might be going with this. I don't know what it is. Can we talk about Carver later on in the film when he sees?
Yes.
Shoyo's character.
Oh God. Yes. Oh fuck yeah. Sorry.
That
was such a problematic moment.
Wayland.
Who's pretty much like the female Bond in this movie, because you see when she's got her whole thing, she's got her own gadgets and setup and shit, and Bond's like all about it now because he sees that. So when he sees her, that whole mock Terry Silver imitation of martial arts. It reminded. I mean, I also love Karate Kid, so I mean, it took me right to Terry Silver immediately, and I was just waiting for him to do that. I don't remember this happening at all.
It came out of nowhere. It's like this is the moment where a villain would be like assault to sort of, unfortunately, assault, like touch her face or be like mock her, be like, I'm gonna have fun with you later and walk away. Yeah. And he doesn't do that. She kind of like just tries to push at him, and he's like fake combating, mocking her combat.
He mocks martial arts right there. Yeah, it's very much like Terry's. If you've seen Karate Kid 3, you know what I'm talking about when he mocks Daniel and stuff like that. It does come out of nowhere, and he just kind of like it ends, and then there's nothing like that ever again.
No,
it's true.
It's so weird.
Did Jonathan Pryce do that? Like improv that? I was like, not cool, man.
I hope not. I hope no. That look, Ginny. Until someone proves me wrong.
Sure.
That in the script, okay?
Exactly. That made me hate his as a villain. I was like, I'm kind of mutual about him. I saw that. I was like, ew. I literally said ew, and then I was like.
Well, Jenny, maybe though it was that they felt like we felt like it was a bland villain and he wasn't doing too much evil stuff. They're like, wait a second, we got to do something quick. Be a racist. It was like, oh, okay, and he does it. It's like, well, I guess we hate you now.
The quickest way.
Yes. We got to fast forward this heat. We got to fast forward this heat quick, guys. All right, what do we got here? All right, let's go.
That's it.
No, I wrote that in my notes too. I was like, what?
And his death. Then I thought about that during his death.
Oh yeah,
he gets it pretty bad too. Right after, I was like, get that motherfucker.
He's a bit racist.
Yeah. It's crazy.
No, I watched that moment and I was like, well, I completely forgot about it. I was like, what? No.
I don't remember that scene at all. And I was like, holy shit.
Crazy.
And the thing is, I know that we get problematic moments the farther back we go in Bond, right? Like, let's not mince words. Sean Connery, pretty much rapes a woman at some point. I mean, we'll get there, but, things were different in the 60s and 70s and 80s. But, there wasn't any really, troubling stuff in GoldenEye, so I guess I let my guard down.
Well,
But do you think that having the villain do it though, in a way where I don't know, I don't want to. I'm not saying like it's obviously a bad thing, but would you say it's problematic though because the villain is doing it and you're kind of building up hatred towards this person?
No, my only thing about it being problematic is that it comes out of nowhere, like, and it seems kind of just like I think if there was if that part of him, that like antagonistic part of him was shown before, I think it would have been fine.
Right.
But like it seems to only be spurned by the fact that there's an Asian woman trying to hit me, so I'm going to make fun of martial arts. Like, and yeah, as the villain, sure, it completely gels, and of course, like that's what it's better. The villain does that than James Bond. I mean,
well, that's what I'm saying. If a hero, one of our heroes did that, you'd be like, what?
It's just shocking because he's not Terry Silver, and he's like very stoic and normal.
Yeah.
And then just like, I'm like, what are you doing?
Or it could be Augie Smith. I mean, as we see in Peacemaker, where he just reels them off like it's no problem, it's no tomorrow. He just keeps going.
I was thinking of Augie Smith while I was watching this. Yeah. And so then of course he meets his end. He gets drilled, you know.
He does get drilled.
Oh, and that was the other thing. My husband was watching it and he goes, he just murderer.
Badly too. He really gets it bad.
Yeah.
And there's no falling off a high building for him. He really gets it pretty bad.
My problematicness is that I like that Bond, Pierce Brosnan, seems so angry about it. It seemed like so animalistic about it. I liked it. So
yeah.
I don't know why he was so angry. I dug it.
I was into it. I mean, that's a brutal ending.
Yeah.
It's and a more realistic ending than some of the Roger Moore stuff. Like I'm thinking now, the way he kills the guy at the end of Live and Let Die is he like literally inflates his head with helium and explodes. So we're still in the realm of realism on the Bond scale here.
Oh, I think for sure with Brosnan. Yeah, for most of this, I would still say we're okay.
Yeah, I think so for sure. All right, so let's talk about the three henchmen, right? Because I think we have three of them. We have Mr. Gupta, who is the hacker guy who works the encoder. We have Herr Stamper, who I think was abducted off of like Die Hard 3. I mean, this guy looks like he's a Die Hard villain.
He definitely hung out with Hans Gruber probably at some point. Yeah,
him and Hans Gruber went to college or something.
Yeah,
and actually, my favorite henchman who gets one scene and one scene alone, Vincent Schiavelli as Dr. Kaufman.
I knew you loved this guy. I saw that coming.
Of course I did. And look, I don't just love him because I love Vincent Schiavelli.
Well, that's
for those of you I do love him. For those of you who don't know him, that's the guy from Ghost, right? Get off my train!
Batman Returns.
So Returns. Yes.
Batman
Which
Returns.
we just talked about on Granny's.
100%. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, guy's been in everything. Amadeus.
Yeah.
I don't just love him because the name of my pediatrician was Dr. Kaufman. That just always makes me laugh.
Oh my god.
Why is he a doctor?
But I just love this scene where like he's just hanging out waiting for Bond to come back. He's set up Terry Hatcher's dead body, and when we talk about Terry Hatcher, we'll get about her. We'll get into how she was killed. And he's like put the tape on of tomorrow's headlines. Like this man is a professional,
and he tells you. He makes sure that you know that.
Yes, he does.
5 minutes.
Yes,
he's like,
it goes to Ginny. Go ahead.
No, he's like milking it.
It's literally his last words. I'm just a professional doing. That's a terrible accent. I'm just a professional doing a job. It's like, and of course, Pierce Brosnan goes, "So am I."
Oh, when he kills him, I mean, Bond is furious at him. Obviously,
he's personal.
Yeah.
So out of these three, which you think? Like, let's rank our henchmen, which is something we've never done before. I just like to throw curveballs at my hosts, my co-hosts. So I'll start because I've had some time to think about this. I'm going to go first henchman number 1, Dr. Kaufman, just because the man has presence. The second is going to be Gupta because Ricky Jay has presence.
Oh.
And the third is going to be Herr Stamper because I just don't think he has presence. Like, I think he's so boring to watch on screen.
I got to go Stomper's higher than that because, I mean, number one, he looks like he was probably typecast as a Bond henchman after this movie. Like, he fits that part so well. And he does slaughter a bunch of people in the beginning of the movie, which we talked about. And he's like, even after Carver dies, he still wants to carry out the mission and kill Bond because he killed killed the doctor. Yeah, that was his like mentor.
You know what? I forgot about that, Ed.
He has his own little plot.
I'm gonna pop Mover Gupta because I actually forgot until you just mentioned it. It was really badass where he has that moment with Bond at the end where Bond is like, his leg is trapped and he knows he's gonna die, and he has that like, we're going to hell together tonight, Bond. Like he's like, oh fuck it, I'm dead, you're dead too. So you're right. He actually is. I was shortchanging him.
And Bond also tells him, like, Carver's done, dude. Go get out of here. Like, it's over. And he's like, no, like, he won't give up on it. I'm going to put him as one. I'm going to go Stomper as one. Yes.
All right.
And then I will go with the Doctor as 2, because there is a part of me that kind of took me out of the movie for a second, to be honest with you, because I didn't take him seriously. Like, the second he shows up, I'm like, what? I kind of slipped my mind he was in this film. I like this movie. I saw this in the theater. I was like all about it, but I haven't seen it in quite some time. And it slipped my mind a couple of things, and that was one of them that did. And I kind of just saw him as like comedy relief in a way, in a weird way, especially when he's like, oh, well, this is embarrassing. Can you help me? Can't get into the car. Can you like, it was actually funny. And that's why I kind of got to knock him to 2. And then Gupta's 3, because he also, by the way, sells himself out where he knows the only reason he's alive is so he can launch the codes, and he gives up the information so willingly. I'm like, you idiot! You know you're dying now.
Good point.
And Carver,
very good point.
It just gets taken out. So that's why I got my rankings there.
All right.
I'm in the same boat. Because I wrote a note about it. I said German Dolph Lundgren because Dolph Lundgren's Swedish and this guy's German, right? Very different. And he's the muscle. Yeah. And we never had that. I mean, Xenia was the muscle too, but I just agree. And Vincent, he took me a little bit out of it too, because I was like, character actor Vincent Schiavelli.
Character actor.
I was like, I know Terry Hatcher's dead. Oh, what the? Oh, hi.
I was like, wait a second. You left the Red Triangle gang to go ahead and to track Bond down?
Well, the Penguin was dead. He had to work somehow. Vincent Schiavelli's got to eat. He can't just hang out in his train all the time.
I think he would have hung out with that monkey and that machine gun, and just that would have been his thing.
Get off my train, monkey and James Bond.
I would have preferred if he came into that hotel room with the monkey and the minigun and everything and tried to take Bond out like
crossover.
Yes.
Talk about taking you out of the movie. And then Batman swings in.
Oh, forget it. We could have a whole other movie right now. Pierce Brosnan, Bond teaming up with like fucking Michael Keaton.
Batman, Pierce Brosnan, Bond.
I would love to cover that on both of our shows. Do a simulcast.
Nobody wants that.
No, I guess not. And so, speaking of things no one wants, let's talk about Bond's sex life in this, because I was talking with Ginny beforehand. This is the most getting it on we have seen from James Bond. Like, he sleeps with 3 women in this. I recall. Like, I'm not saying how many times he has sex. I don't know the inner workings of Daniel Craig and Vespa's sex life before she dies.
No.
But like Bond has 3 partners. So he has the linguistics teacher, which sets us up for possibly the worst joke in the movie. With I don't know. Actually, the guy settled a bet. Which is the worst joke? Is it Moneypenny going, "You're certainly a cunning linguist, James," or is it "Don't ask" and M going, "Don't tell"? because this is the 90s, and that was the whole military thing on the gay people then.
Yeah.
So which is the worst joke there?
My worst joke isn't in a sex pun. It's the one where he pushes one of the henchmen, a guy he's fighting with, into a newspaper printer. And it was like an Austin Powers thing, blood everywhere. And he goes, they'll print anything these days. And I was waiting for it. I was waiting for a joke. I was like, I knew it. Where is it coming?
Oh,
And
yeah.
there it is.
The second he gets pushed, I was like,
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
go.
I actually thought it was going to be what's black and white and red all over.
Yeah, I think that would have been better.
The writer was like, won't do that one. Because when they're not, and when he's not macking on ladies, it's entendre. So many entendres. I was like, Bond movie. I was like, Bond, stop it, Bond movie. We have plot. I want to get to the plot. There's too many entendres.
Yeah, there's a lot of entendres, a lot of sex jokes.
I have another one of them, but it's by M.
Please throw it out there. Let's talk about the worst jokes.
No, M is when they're in the car, because they pretty much are just on the move, and they tell him he's got to do this mission, and they're asking him what he knows about Carver's wife and everything like that, and apparently they have intel that that's Carver's, that they used to be together, and M is just like, screw this, like, you're gonna be pumping Carver's wife for information. She just like lays it out there, like that's what I'm saying. As much as in the last film, she's like, "Oh, that you're a misogynistic like dinosaur or whatever."
I know.
She's
Her and
like,
Moneypenny are teaming up.
Yeah, both of them are kind of like, "Yeah, we get it. All right, let's use it to our advantage now. Go. You're with her. Go pump her for information now."
Actually, which is a little unprofessional and silly. Which this movie's a little silly though. We jumped.
It's fun.
Yeah.
But I have to admit that this reminded me of your gripe with Spectre. Like, what is M telling him to do? Just go have sex with the woman and get the information? Because I think this establishes, yes, that's exactly what she was doing. She's done it before.
But I will say though, the big difference is you're sending in the other one, Inspector, Bond is being sent to the funeral of the dead man in his wife. This is like, hey, dude, go bang.
You know her.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Go sleep with your ex-girlfriend. So not a little bit more subtle. And I think that's why they felt it was so open to keep on making those digs with him, because they knew, like, what the hell does he care? He's shit. You know?
All right. Fair enough.
Because even Moneypenny getting on it, but Bond also says something to her right before that scene ends, of almost throwing it out there like, we should get to this at some point also. He says something along those lines.
Yeah. They're very
super flirtatious.
So very. I always love that though. I do love that. There's so much flirting. Like she's giving it to him just as much.
I do love
spiteful. I love her.
Oh yeah, no, she's great.
And I think my biggest thing against this whole run is it doesn't end with like a 3-hour sex marathon between those two.
Yeah, I would have loved if they got together.
They need to like have a lot of sex and just get it out of their system, you know?
So I was trying to. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say they work together. It wouldn't work otherwise. Sorry, Ed. You had something serious to bring up.
No, I was actually just thinking when you brought up the amount of sex Bond has in this film versus GoldenEye. Because in GoldenEye, it's with the psychiatrist that is supposed to be. So, and then, I guess with the other woman, it's twice in the matter of like 10 minutes, which is just
yeah. Him and Natalia have it. Yeah, but like he never like. I think we did say that like he got Xenia on the top like off.
Yes, we gave him credit for that. Yeah, we gave him credit for that. She also did a couple other times when she just killed people.
Yeah, right. So really, we can't count that as sex unless we're gonna count stabbing as sex.
I mean, if you're gonna, but if Bond is taking score, then I guess he gets a point there on his score sheet for being one of the people. He may have done it twice when he had the tank and he was trying to go into the train.
Oh yeah, we don't know. We weren't there for that.
No,
that's true. And God knows how many times he's masturbated between scenes.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, the man's a sex addict. I mean, we can all admit this, right?
He's not smoking cigarettes.
For sure.
Yeah. So. That's right. He gave up the cigarettes. Gonna have something.
Another vice. No baccarat in this movie, so
no
Yeah,
baccarat, no
no.
gambling.
He just goes to a party.
that's
Yeah.
He's wearing the suit, but
Which of course he comes to this party and this brings us right into the Bond girl, the sex partner / Bond girl, sex partner number 2, Bond girl number 1, Paris Carver, who is Elliot's wife, the villain's wife, who is played by Terry Hatcher, who I actually texted you guys like, why do I always forget Terry Hatcher's in this movie? And then I remembered why, because she's only in 2 scenes.
yeah,
she's really not in it.
yeah.
Yeah, she's not in a lot, but so she's like Bond's ex-girlfriend. It is literally what the Tomorrow Never Dies lyrics are about, their relationship. She says something to him like your job always gets in the way of romance. Do you still sleep with a gun under your pillow? And they actually have a cool scene where she orders his drink and he tries to order hers, and she's like, "No, I changed now."
Yeah.
I thought that was probably her best moment as a Bond girl.
Yeah. She's more reserved than I thought. Than I would.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Desperate Housewives, and I love Lois and Clark, Superman. But I was like, she's like very chill. She's very like just lovely. She's lovely, and their like whole relationship is very like intimate. It's much more intimate than I just kind of ever. I don't know. Would have imagined. Like he wants to protect her. And he's like begging her to go, like, let him protect her.
Right.
So
after they have the night together, he's like,
Yeah.
I can get you out of the country in 2 hours.
I
And she's like, you
know.
can never protect me from him unless you, like she says, unless you're going to let this go. And he's like, I can't. But yeah, he's very protective. He doesn't want anything to happen to her.
I know. I think that like took me aback. I was like, how sweet. And I also think his bond is such a, I don't, not that women need protecting, but he's such a protector of women and that's a very like old school dashing hero. I don't think he's like Connery. I don't think he's until the next movie maybe a bit, but he's not beating women. He's not throwing women. Xenia, but she attacked him. He's very, I don't know. I think he's tender. He's very tender and not different than Daniel Craig. He's not as reserved as Daniel Craig. He's ready to flirt. He's ready to like mac on ladies, but he's also just very like, I don't know.
I definitely agree with that. He's like he has the like Connery chivalry without the Connery creepiness. Or like, sort of a aggro. I don't want to say creepiness because it was a different time, but
aggro,
like
aggro
60s aggro swagger, like Connery will protect a woman, but he'll also throw it down on the ground and say, "Hey, I know you said no, but we're
doing this."
Yes, Whereas, like, where Brosnan, I don't see him doing that. I think for Brosnan, no is no.
No, everything's consensual.
Yeah,
from what I remember. But I just go, and he's like, his voice is very soothing, and people seem to like him. Women love him, and I think he also loves the ladies too. And I think if somebody was to threaten them, and this Steve Jobs-esque figure is going to threaten her or is abusive, he's ready to like, I'll take you away. I'm ready to like, you don't have to do this. You don't have to be there. And I'm like, that's so sweet. So I love that.
For sure. I agree. They have a really nice relationship. I kind of wish there was more of it.
Mm-hmm.
Ed, where do you fall on Paris?
No, I think she's, for the limited time she's in the film, she's a pretty important character because it is, as we've discovered, thank you, Jason, this is the second time Bond ends up going to meet a ex-girlfriend of his, because in the Casino Royale movie that you had us watch, that was also an ex-girlfriend of Bond's.
That's right. Holy crap. Yes. Jimmy Bond returns.
He gets called Jimmy again also.
He does. Well, we get some more Jack Wade. We'll get to it.
Son of a bitch. But
Jack Wade.
Not a fan of Jack Wade at all. No, I think it is really important and interesting that they have a relationship, and Bond is very much, it meant something to him, and it kind of feels like it definitely still means something to him, that it's important. And I think that's pretty telling. And then it also fuels his rage to get, to get revenge, even though he gets asked, is it revenge or is it, is it not? And he does want to stop a war also, but I'm sure he's like, yeah, screw it. If I can make Carver suffer a pretty horrible death, that's cool too. Yeah, but no, she's really good in this though. For the small part that she has. I recall her having a bigger part too, but I guess she has an important part with just not a lot of screen time.
Yeah, she's got presence, but you're right, not a lot of screen time.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, no, I agree. I want to point out that one of my favorite, like, I like to clock Bond drunk moments because like as I'm reading the books or listening to the books, like, and I've seen these movies, like, and I got to watch the Daniel Craig ones where he's playing, where he's like, I'm so trashed, he's like, like I love to clock these drunk moments. Bond leaves the party where he sees Paris Carver. Like after Elliot Carver, her husband, has him abducted and they beat the hell out of him and he has to beat his way out of this party. He shuts down the power. He completely humiliates Carver, which is what makes Carver really look into him and realize that his wife and him have a past because Terry Hatcher's not really admitting to it. And he's sitting there up all night and he's just drinking shots of vodka.
Right.
Like, he was sitting there, and this is such a cool moment. He takes the gun, he puts it on the table next to a full bottle of vodka, and when she walks in the morning, you got a half a bottle of vodka.
Yeah. So, as someone who once drank a bottle of vodka in a night, oh yeah, no, I paid for that for quite some bit. That's some pretty impressive drinking by Bond.
That's beyond impressive. That's alcoholism. Yes. You know what I mean? That's like if he didn't drink that, he would have been a wreck.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you right now. Yeah, definitely.
What's the old Mel Brooks thing? It's like, oh, there's nothing wrong with that, but this is my shooting hand. So I guess it brings us to Wei Lin, played by Michelle Yeoh. Who is the second Bond girl and the third woman that Bond has sex with. And I don't know why I decided to enter this that way, but it's implied. You don't see
heavily implied at the end of the movie.
When you end the movie like that and it's a Bond movie, they've had sex.
No, I'm just saying is that the other scenes, like with the linguist in it, that was pretty.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Bond movie, that was pretty graphic.
Yeah. You're right.
Oh, there's no question that went down at the end. Yeah, no. There's no question because he also looks at her and staring at her at one point out of nowhere.
They're in love. They're in love. Yeah. The best part was that I love her character. I just want to look at this out of the way. When I was watching the movie and there was toward the end, a lot of action going on, and my husband walks in and he goes, "Oh," he's like, "Is this the shower scene?" And I go, "No. Oh, no, it's not the shower scene. This is towards the end." And I go, "But why did you remember that?" And he's like, "Because it's just kind of a weird moment where they're like in public."
Yeah,
I agree.
I love it though. I love that.
I took a note of that, and Regina was on her phone while I was watching it, and I actually had to stop her from what she was doing to make this point. I'm like, I think I never thought of it before, but literally they're handcuffed together. Yes. They escape Carver's that. This is Ed, when you brought up the megalomaniac size poster, yes. Right? They ride the poster down. I think they have the coolest escape. They're handcuffed together. They're straddling each other on the bike, and then the helicopter literally is like, "I'm just going to kill you," and they destroy the helicopter. But then you smash cut, and they are just in the street taking a shower, and I'm like,
kind of.
Why did you decide to take the shower now?
I don't know. The shower doesn't. It is I agree. It's a cool scene because I guess it's cool because it's you've never seen it before. I don't know how much sense it makes.
Long.
Yeah, and it's just an awkward shower scene. I don't know.
He's shirtless. They kind of are like, "Here's your soap. Here's your soap."
Yeah, he washes her hair because she thanks him.
It's cute.
Thank you for washing my hair. Click. Now you're stuck on this pipe.
It.
So during that chase, though, that whole motorcycle chase, which I dug it. I thought it was really cool, the escape to the way they had to do it. She tells him twice during that chase not to get any ideas. What ideas is he getting while having one hand handcuffed and driving a motorcycle, which he needs her help to actually make you go?
I wish you were Bond in that moment, and you're like, "What could I possibly want to do to you right now?"
That's what I'm saying. It's hold on, time out.
I wish you would hang on.
Yeah, you Zach Morris that and time out it oh, hold on a second. What the hell am I gonna do right now? Honestly. What am I doing?
I picture you do that, and Stomper comes up like, "Yeah, ladies, that was weird. You guys, what are you going to do? I'm
don't
trying to
know
kill you
him."
now."
I want to know, but James, tell us, what are you going to do? And he's just like, oh shit, I'm on the spot now. I gotta come up with something.
I have to come
My
up
whole
with
my whole reputation's gonna be in the toilet now. But she says it twice during that. I'm like, what is he doing?
I just love that. I just love that scene. It's so dumb. And I think they're so cute together. She's great though. I love she's pleasing to watch. Action wise, all of her action scenes, I just can't even remember when Bond was fighting. All I can think about is her and how great she honestly like, and just kind of her stuff in the end, especially.
I actually adore her in this. I like her energy. I like that there are parts where Bond's running getting shot at and she's just walking down the wall like on a wire. Like I like her action stuff. And I didn't realize this actress is actually in Star Trek Discovery. Like she was like a captain.
Now she's a big deal.
That.
Now she's in everything.
Yeah.
No, she was in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon at that point.
Love that.
She was huge in that. I recall her being in this film. But yeah, every time she's on screen, I think she's always like a pretty cool presence to have. Like, yeah, like you're saying, like she's just a pleasure to watch. She's in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Yes, she is, and she's awesome in it.
And I also just saw her on Saturday because me and Angie had watched Gunpowder Milkshake.
Oh, yeah, she's in that?
Yeah, she's in that too.
Oh,
nice. So, how is that?
She's like everywhere. It's pretty cool. I dug it. I mean, it's very John Wick-esque in a way. But yeah, it's got a pretty awesome cast. Paul Giamatti's in it too.
Oh, I love Paul Giamatti.
Yeah, Paul Giamatti's in it.
Was she supposed to have a spinoff movie? That's what Tom said. My husband said. He said that she was gonna get one, but I think audiences didn't want, or I don't know, studios didn't want to do it.
Could we give her and Paloma their own movie where she's training Paloma?
Paloma has a movie, and she comes in and is like, I can help train like the old dog kind. I love it.
Multiverse.
that would be awesome.
Are we gonna do a Spider-Man No Way Home thing where we just start getting like the three most badass Bond girls and they get together and they have their own adventure?
Yes.
I would love that. I mean, it would be these two and Pussy Galore, right? Like that would be my pick for the third. She was a badass Bond girl.
Yeah, probably.
Not Good Night.
I don't know. I mean, but Halle Berry?
She would do it. She would do it, but
she's a secret agent too. I mean,
oh yeah, that's true.
Damn, all right, you know what? I'm gonna think about some rules for our Bond girl multiverse, and when we talk about the next time when we do the Pierce Brosnan wrap up, I'll have those rules set. And that'll be part of our wrap up discussion.
But the cool thing though is that Halle Berry and Michelle Yeoh can actually team up because they are in the same.
That's true.
Canon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that is true.
So that could have actually happened.
Pierce is their Bond.
Man, I wish. All right, so let's see that was the Bond girls. I think we can all agree Michelle Yeoh was the star Bond girl in this, right? And then what else am I missing? Oh yeah, we didn't do Q Branch yet. There's some interesting Q Branch going on. We have double Q Branch.
He's gonna hate me.
Why?
That car is ugly.
I'll agree with you. Though.
Am I wrong? Maybe I'm not a car person.
I'm not a car person either, but I didn't love it.
No, I love the functionality, the gadgets in the car. I don't like the look of the car. You love the fact in the beginning of the movie he's driving the Aston Martin again.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
So it made me think though. I'm like, so wait a second, that's like his car. Like I drive around in this car. This is my car. I park in my apartment, and then I go take Q's car and I make sure I destroy it. It's a rental. Who gives a shit?
By the way, the fact I forgot that Q comes out in the Avis. Does Avis even exist anymore?
Oh,
I'm sure it does.
Car rentals, do they? I don't know. I don't drive, so I've never rented a car. But he comes out in the red jacket.
A little red jacket.
This is maybe the weirdest Q Branch scene we've seen. This is definitely the weirdest Q Branch we've seen. This might be the weirdest Q Branch of the series.
There's a lot of product placement, and I don't recall if there was a big Avis ad campaign that was tied into this movie.
For Bond.
I have to believe there had to be. There's no way there wasn't. Because it's like really front and center quite a bit.
Avis isn't turning that down.
Especially when he crashes, like when he does that whole thing, because the car is remote controlled on with like a smartphone, but a 90s smartphone that still had that pad. Which I had one of those phones. They were crazy. But like he literally drives the Bond car into an Avis.
And make sure the shot's right there for it.
Oh man, yeah.
But the functionality of the car, though, no, Ginny, you're right. The car is ugly as shit. But the functionality of it, was like the missiles and everything, and the spikes that come out, and the remote control stuff while he's in the back seat driving this thing around. It is a badass Bond car. It just looks like shit.
I also really enjoyed the fact that the BMW's insignia comes up and it like cuts metal wire. I'm like, you know what? That's not something I would think to put in a car, but I could see why Q Branch did. That's fucking brilliant. Oh,
I know if Alfred built the car, he would, because he obviously put that in a Batwing. That I banged that movie for a couple of weeks ago. Why the hell does the Batwing have a massive scissor in the middle of it? That was awfully convenient.
Because obviously Alfred used to be Q Branch.
Oh, well, I mean, isn't there that Pennyworth thing that we don't even cover that kind of says he was military before?
Oh, yeah, I think so. I forgot about that.
Yeah. I'm not sure if we're going to go there. We'll talk about that another time.
Well, we'll talk about that another time. But what about then the phone, the cell phone, the one that like does everything? He uses this in 7 different ways. Maybe not 7, but like it's a fingerprint, it's a scanner, it's a remote control for the car, it's a lockpick device, it's a taser. Like there's nothing this phone doesn't do. And this is pre-smartphone, right? Like 97?
This is the original smartphone.
It really is. And he actually, I think this is my favorite gadget because I really like that he uses it to lift the print off of the safe full of like blackmail material in Carver's office, and then directly uses it to open the safe with that print. Like that was kind of my favorite Q Branch moment in the movie. But what'd you guys, Ginny, what'd you think of the phone?
I love the phone a lot. I was like that, and then I'm back to so we're hyped up on, we're cranking up the gadgets. Now I'm trying to remember the rest. I know Die Another Day, but then I think about, I don't remember. The world is not enough. But this is like, I remember this is the Pierce had gadgets. We don't have gadgets in Daniel Craig universe. I'm like, now this is where I feel fully
bonded.
Yeah. Comfortable now. I'm like, good. This is how it should be.
Oh, I'm so warm with gadgets. Ed, what'd you think about the phone?
I mean, the phone is fantastic. I said that's the original smartphone. It's really, really cool. I also want to talk about what he uses when he does the print and opens up Carver's safe. Can we talk about the contents in Carver's fucking safe? I had to rewind it to make sure that I saw what I saw.
It's all blackmail material, right? It's like kiddie porn and drug paraphernalia.
He has coke, he has heroin in there. It looks like, because he has like there's a needle. Looks like he has bags of coke. Looks like he has European smut in there.
Oh my gosh!
What the hell was going on?
Blackmail for him.
Is this what Carver's doing? Like, is he using this blackmail material? Or is this what Carver does, like, in his office when he's alone, when he's bored? He just starts breaking everything up.
I think for sure it's blackmail material, or like setting people up for the story.
Really? You think that's all his stuff to set people up for the story?
He says that.
I didn't take it like
that's what I thought for sure.
About the president. He's like, that footage of him with the college co-ed. And then he's like, blackmail with it, and then we'll print it anyway.
I don't know. I actually took this as his like personal concept.
Like he's like, all right, I'm gonna shoot some heroin, snort some coke, and masturbate to some foot fetish stuff. I mean, that's what you think he's doing,
dude? I wouldn't put that past Carver.
You know that's what they're doing,
or the High Sparrow. Either one. I would see both of them doing this shit.
You know what? I don't own a Mac. I could see Steve Jobs. No, I'm not going to finish that sentence. His ghost will come in and kill us all. Yes. I'm already unhassling the Huff. I don't want to unhassle Steve Jobs.
I don't even know how you would do that.
I don't know either. That's why I stopped myself.
Good man.
But so you think that was his own recreational use, Ed?
To be honest,
That's
that's what
more
I thought.
interesting.
That's what I thought it was. I didn't think he had like everything in this safe is gonna be. Well, here's all my blackmail stuff that I use to blackmail people. I didn't take it like that. I really thought this was his stuff. I could be completely fucking wrong about this, but that's why
No,
Crazy.
I rewound it and I'm like, wait, what is it? And I paused it for a second.
Yeah.
Like, what's in the damn safe?
There's some
Holy
insane
shit.
stuff in that safe, like that. Like, to explain to our younger viewers what that safe was like, it was like opening the dark web.
Yes,
right?
There you go. Yep.
There you see. Hey, I'm hip. I'm cool. But yeah, no, that's insane. All right, so what do we have left? I think that. Oh, and then of course there's like I said there were 2 Q branch things. There's also like all of Wei Lin's Q stuff, which of course comes with the fire-breathing dragon.
I liked it.
Oh, that was so funny. I liked all that stuff. And
I
another
thought it-
the other cigarette scene too, where he's gonna light the guy's cigarette. We talk about that and
Yes.
punch them. That's a motorcycle moment for me, where like a motorcycle flip from Daniel Craig's cigarette. I was like, what just happened?
I love the fact he's just stopping people from smoking. That's
Yeah.
it. That's his thing.
He's a
It's
man
one of
on a
his
mission.
objectives. Yeah.
Trigger.
If he were doing this today, he'd be stopping people from vaping.
Yeah, break
Oh
it.
yeah.
Ruins your teeth. Crack. All right, so then let's see. What do we have left? See, I'm a terrible host. I wanted to point this out, right? Because I'm looking through my notes now. Because we're getting to the end. We're almost done.
I'm out of notes. Also.
Actually,
hold on. There's one thing.
yeah.
What about when Carver yells at that guy essentially? Did he fall asleep on a job towards the end of the movie?
Yes.
The guy is there, and it looks like he's like looking down or something, and they see them breaking into the base or the boat that they're in, the stealth boat.
Yes.
And I don't know if he was sleeping or not, but he yells at him, was like, "Can't you see them right on the monitor? What are they like? What do I pay you for?" I'm like,
Yes.
"Did you fall asleep on a fucking job?"
That
happened?
actually was really funny.
Was he playing Galaga and then he just realized
I
that? Like,
wouldn't
what
notice.
happened there?
That's what I thought. And then, of course, he gets fired from this and joins up with S.H.I.E.L.D. And
Oh yeah, he joins MI6.
Oh,
He's
no.
like 0016, and that's like what happens there.
oh, I love it. Yeah, no, that's such a bizarre moment. That moment kind of takes me out of the movie a bit. Like,
It's so random.
it is so random. Yeah, so okay, so then Bond's like Wayland's Q closet. That's anything else that we have there? Because I did want to bring up one more thing. We had the fire-breathing dragon, but we also have that weird dart gun fan, and Bond makes the mention of like something like Chinese technology.
Oh, right. Yeah, what's he say? It's a quip.
It's a quip,
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah, something China. But
I've,
like,
I've
I
been
just
wanting to something on Chinese technology, or I've
Yeah,
been wanting to.
unfortunately I didn't write the quip down. I just wrote like dart gun fan question mark. I just thought it was so weird. Like, why would she need a dart gun fan with all of those guns? Like, why doesn't she have a cool? Well, actually, no, she does have a cool watch like Bond, right?
Yeah.
Does he mention right? And she has the better Walter PPK.
Yeah.
But like, but then why does she have that fan? What is Bond walking around with? Is he walking around with like explosive tea bag or something?
Culture.
Yes.
Right. This is every secret agent has to have
That's
a
all.
cultural thing on them.
A teacup, a saucer, bro.
All right, so yeah, exactly. I've thrown my saucer at you. All right, so anything else? Any other notes that we didn't hit on before we sort of talk about if this was a success or not in the Brosnan franchise? Any notes we've missed? I'm gonna look over my notes because I said I don't remember what I wrote down.
Trying to see any more quips I wrote down. Definitely. Again, I told you, I was like, I get it. Bond likes women. We have to stop. M's talking about the car as a female, and they're like, "Now go easy on her, Bond. We know you love the like." I was like, I get it.
Oh yeah, he's like, oh yeah, it'll be better. She'll function
listen to
better with my
you.
touches.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see how she responds to my touch. And then he's just like it's all over the place.
Yeah.
And I know there's something we didn't touch on that we should have that you want to. Our good friend Jack Wade. We'll call it not Felix Leiter.
Yeah, fuck not Felix Leiter. The guy's an asshole. Shows up again in his stupid Hawaiian shirt. Pretty much brings nothing to the table again. He's totally useless. Like, I would have rather him walk around with, like, Felix Leiter's son or something like that, or anything, because this is just a shitty replacement for Leiter. I really can't stand this guy. He's another one who kind of like takes me out of the movie again. I'm like, he's just like the American idiot that shows up.
He is.
Yeah, he's pretty bad.
Because he doesn't do anything.
That's the thing. He doesn't. Yeah.
He's not in it for long. He's just there to kind of like trip over himself and sort of make fun of Bond and
call him Jimmy.
And make fun of Americans, which I'm fine with, but
yeah,
at least be clever about it.
No, he's just goofy.
All right. Any other notes that we missed? That was the end of my notes. Jack Wade was my last note. Anything else you guys want to touch on before we give our final ranking?
I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
All right. So, Ed, was this a successful James Bond mission for Pierce Brosnan?
Yes, I enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed it then upon a rewatch. I dug it. I think the action's really good in this movie, and that's like a standout. If I'm gonna ding it for anything, it probably just would be a little. The writing's a little weird at times. Like I had mentioned, like the whole like don't get any ideas thing, where it just comes out of left field both times, and like why. And the villain's vanilla. The villain had a lot more potential. Put it that way. And that's why I think that was a missed opportunity. But overall, I do like the movie. I think it's a pretty cool idea. It would have been interesting to see if they would have taken this storyline and used it during, like, if it would have came out today, maybe during Daniel Craig's run or not, and see what you could have done. Maybe you could have realized this potential. But it is it's an interesting, straightforward plot. But yeah, I dug it. I don't really have anything really too much to ding about it. I liked it.
Awesome. Ginny, successful mission or not successful?
I think the movie is it's a great movie as a whole, like just to watch it and to review it, I'm sure. I think we failed the mission on this one. I think it's kind of, I mean, I'm sure people think Quantum of Solace is boring. I think this is a bit villains bland. I was excited because it's the media mogul dude. I don't know. I think so many lines. I think the tone's a bit weird. I think coming from GoldenEye to this movie, I always think in my head it goes GoldenEye, the world is not enough, tomorrow never dies, die another day, and that's not true. They switch those two. I think because I think our next movie has some more complex themes and some interesting stuff going on. It gets a little bit more serious. I think this is a bit goofier. So I think we failed. At least set us up to Die Another Day, which is its own thing. So I think I do think Michelle Yeoh and Pierce together are my favorite Bond couple of this entire series.
Nice. All right. So
they're the saving grace, truly.
I like it. Again, Descent. I love Descent. I enjoyed this movie. I kind of put it like this is like a middle tier Bond movie. I think if I'm looking at like the whole thing in retrospect, like I think when we eventually do our rankings, this is going to be in the middle for me. But I think it's a completely fun movie. I would actually say it's a success. I think I like it a bit more than you guys because I actually liked the song and I have no problem with the boring opening, though I do admit it's kind of boring. The credits. And I agree that tonally it's all over the place and it's goofy, but I don't know. I got enough. I really like Pierce Brosnan in it. I really like Michelle Yeoh in it. I enjoyed, Lois and Clark for what we got from her. So yeah, I'm going to say it was a success. So I guess it's 2 successes and a failure, but hey, that's okay. Because tomorrow never dies, so we can always redeem ourselves with our next movie, which is going to be the next in the Pierce Brosnan James Bond series, The World Is Not Enough. Which, guys, I haven't seen this since I saw it in the theater.
I saw The World Is Not Enough once.
Me
and
too.
the last line is what I remember the most about it.
Man,
Me
you
too.
guys. I love this movie, but I haven't seen it in like 5 years.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm actually kind of curious to see how I feel about it now, because I don't have much of an opinion besides the absurd last line of the movie, and that was it.
I'm the same. Like I remember the last line. I thought it was terrible. That's all I really remember of the movie, except for like the twist about who's the bad guy. And I remember having no problem accepting Denise Richards as a
Right?
nuclear physicist, because I actually, it's a James Bond movie. Who cares? but again, I haven't seen this movie since 99 or 2000 when it came out.
It's been a bit. I'm excited to check it out.
Oh,
Yeah,
I can't wait.
I'm excited to talk about it next week. So everyone, please, if you enjoyed what you saw, and you are not part of the Double O Deep Dive group on Facebook, please join us there. We've been posting a lot of James Bond related articles. Daniel Craig's getting a lot of buzz with Tomorrow Never Dies. It's we've been posting some news on the site. So if you're interested, join up there. You can also catch the show there if that's not where you're watching it. Double O Deep Dive presented by Pop Culture Pros. You can join us next Monday at 8:30. But if you don't want to wait till next Monday at 8:30 and you want to talk some other geeky goodness, you want to talk some comic book stuff, Ed, tell everyone about Granny's Peach Tea, which, I have nothing to do with that. I don't know what that's about. You got to tell everyone.
No, not at all. No, again, Jenny, thank you for joining us. We had our 50th episode just this past Saturday. We had to check that one out. That's up everywhere. We're going to be reposting it. We had a pretty fun discussion about Batman Forever, which, by the way, coming back from the dogs classes, Andy was asking me about Batman Forever, and we wanted to know who was coming on to defend this movie and why there were so many people who wanted to defend it. It got into a whole discussion about it. So if you would also like to know, you can check out the last episode of Granny's Peach Tea. But upcoming this week, we are going to be talking about Batman and Robin. Yes.
Woo!
We would actually be talking about Batman and Robin. We'll be
Everybody chill.
Yeah.
Chill.
It's going to be a cool party.
No.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Oh. You're not putting me in the cooler. I can keep going.
Did you guys write it? Did you write Batman and Robin?
I love Arnold Schwarzenegger. I love Arnold Schwarzenegger. So that might be my swaying point, Jenny, about why I can't believe I would actually do it. But I'm going to reserve for Saturday. So yeah, we'll be talking about Batman and Robin. We'll be talking about the latest episode of Peacemaker, and also the latest episodes of all the CW shows, Superman and Lois and Naomi and Batwoman and DC's Legends of Tomorrow. So come check us out on Saturday for our 51st episode.
Yeah, 51st. That's also a milestone. It's one after 50.
Exactly.
And speaking of one after 50, and this segue means nothing, you can also check out Shooting the Sith here on Pop Culture Pros Network if you like anything Star Wars related. I know Tim has been doing a great job covering the Book of Boba Fett. He's also been talking about this is the way. This is the way. He's been talking a lot about what's going on there, talking about the future of the show. I know he's been wanting to interview people who in the Star Wars community with tattoos and the such. So he's going to go really fun places with this. You should definitely join him. Also, take a look at Just Too Sweet if you're into the wrestling. I know we just had a Royal Rumble, and I know that because I just lost $8 in the Royal Rumble because Steve Ferracci won. The Boss Man won. Fix.
And Eric?
And Eric, the boss man, his best friend, won. Fix. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, check out Just Too Sweet. I'm sure they'll be talking about the Royal Rumble if they have not discussed it already. I know these shows are not currently going on, but the Empire 161 show and the Put It in the Book show, which covers Yankees and Mets respectively. I know Ed and Lisa does Empire 161, which is the Yankees show. Farachi does Put It in the Books, which is the Mets show. So once the baseball season comes up, check that out. Or if none of those things interest you, but you have an eclectic taste where you like a little of this and a little of that, then join Eric and Tim for the A to Z program, where they literally cover everything from apathy to zeal. Yeah, wasn't look, I gotta burn some of the ones that aren't as funny. I mean, it was hard to come up with A and Z words that matched each other and mirrored each other. I'm kind of proud.
I don't know how long you can keep this going for. That's what I'm curious.
I've got like at least 20 or so left, and once I get down,
Oh no.
No, I've committed. When I commit to something stupid, I go full force.
Full stupid.
That's right. I go full stupid. But anyway, thank you for joining us. Ginny, Ed, thanks for joining as always. This has been a lot of fun. And fun. I'll see you guys next week. And those of you who join us, see you next week. Thanks. Peace, guys.
Bye. Thanks.